Welcome to Latte with a Lawyer, a podcast dedicated to bringing you the stories of some of America's most successful lawyers, figuring out what makes them tick, how they creatively solve problems, and how others aspiring to be them can follow in their footsteps.
Okay, folks, welcome to another episode of Latte with a Lawyer. I'm your host, Jonathan Brickman, and we have an interesting guest here this morning, Joey Seeber, who's the CEO of Level Legal. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, excellent. So just to stay with the theme of the show here, Latte with a Lawyer, what's your favorite morning beverage to get started?
My favorite morning beverage is black coffee.
Excellent.
And if I, about half the time I take time to do a pour over myself. It's kind of a nice way to start the day with a little slow rhythm of, preparing it myself. And then about half the time it's just brewed black coffee. So, and, or if you're in a hotel like I am now, it's just whatever they have.
I'm with you. Sometimes a gas station, right? If
yeah, that's right. I call that shop grade coffee.
Exactly. Whatever you can get.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, good stuff. It's now we're almost through the morning, so I'm done drinking coffee. I'm hydrating now.
There you go.
So I know you're a lawyer. I want to hear about your journey here, but you also run a legal services firm. So tell us about what you do, where you sort of fit into the landscape.
Yeah, well, Level Legal is there are lots of acronyms for kind of what we do. We're alternative legal services provider. ALSP is one of the ones, law company. But we provide services to legal teams, whether that's in-house or outside counsel, to supplement the work that they're doing. So this is in areas of litigation, compliance, investigation, privacy. So those are the particular areas. I mean, we got our start 13 years ago doing document review, and much of what we do today is document review, and it is employing the technology to sort through the documents, to reduce the number of documents, and then it's the eyes-on review and then management and production eventually of those documents, or preparation of those documents for people to analyze, maybe an internal investigation or something else. And of course, with the proliferation of communication tools other than email, we're finding ways to do what we do with all of those. In addition, we have lawyers who work for us who have done that and are also providing just other legal services for large corporations. So commonly known as seconded, or lawyers who work for us, but they work in-house for an in-house legal team. We work for one of the major airlines, providing lawyers on various teams, various departments, to help with the needs that they have on a project basis, but many times these are extended projects. So this is the niche that we're filling.
Oh, okay. So let's drill down a little bit further.
Yeah.
When you say, like document review, be more specific about what you're
sure.
doing, that you think you're doing maybe a better job, or there's a reason why they outsource it to you. What's driving that?
Yeah. Well, look, in the very beginning, that was driven by cost, right? So a dozen years ago, you think, I'm a 35-year lawyer. Okay. So some of the first assignments that I had when I was a young associate was I'm going to a conference room with 30 boxes of physical paper documents, go through these documents and find those documents which are responsive, which we need to produce to the other side in this lawsuit. Okay. A production obligation.
Yep.
And so I would sit there and we would go, and there'd be a team of us, maybe we'd go through those documents. Here are the documents that must be produced to the other side. Here are the documents which are responsive, but are privileged and with the communication with a lawyer. So we don't have to send those. Okay. I'm simplifying grossly here. Well, fast forward, and those are not paper documents anymore. There are much fewer of them. They're now digital.
Yeah.
And those don't go away. And so there are many more of them then now that have to be handled to determine, do those need to be produced in this litigation? I'm just using a litigation context. And so a dozen years ago or 15 years ago, it was, well, okay, with this proliferation of these digital documents, it becomes very expensive for us to pay our outside counsel hundreds of dollars an hour to review these thousands or tens of thousands or millions of documents. And so there was a burgeoning industry there then of people who, like us, who said, look, we will do this for you. We're actually become better at it because it's all we do. It's not just one of the tasks that we do. And it's much less expensive on an hourly basis or project basis for us to do it. So it was a value proposition. And from that grew more and more things that we are doing for, again, in-house counsel or outside counsel law firms.
Got it. So because I'm not a lawyer. And
yeah.
So
good for you.
But you're narrowing down like this large reservoir of information, right, to a final product.
Right.
And so are you applying like, AI to it? I mean,
yes.
You are. Okay.
Yes. There are many good tools now. Again, 15 years ago, literally 15 years ago, here's a mirror, here's a hard drive. Go through all the files and find the documents. Okay, well, much more sophisticated now.
Yeah.
And of course, we're apply machine learning and many of the tools, and there are many good platforms out there.
What's the end product that you're getting towards? What are you trying to narrow it down to?
Yeah, great question. And again, in a traditional litigation context, you are producing a set of documents that are responsive based upon the terms or the requests of the other side.
Oh, I see.
You're producing the documents to them. If we go way back in history, the discovery rules try to prevent the trial by ambush. I've got, it's the Perry Mason or the Matlock. We're exchanging those documents so that everybody's on a quasi-level playing field.
I see.
So
okay.
I'm producing my documents to you. You're producing your documents to me. We all have the same documents. We're all on the level playing field, and then we can ask questions in discovery depositions about those documents, and we can now kind of work our way, hopefully settle the case, which happens in most cases, or in litigation, at least we're on a somewhat level playing field. So that's the theory behind the practice. What the product is a set of documents that is produced by a certain date. Here you go. And a list of those that are privileged, not a copy of them because they're privileged, and the reason why they're privileged.
Okay, got it. So does this fall under like the e-discovery umbrella?
This is e-discovery.
This is e-discovery.
Yet. Yeah.
Okay.
So we are part of what we do is an e-discovery provider, electronic discovery provider. Yes.
Okay. And there are lots of those people out there.
There are a lot of us, although fewer and fewer every week, because there's rapid consolidation in our industry.
Okay.
Why
the rapid consolidation?
Why does it happen in any industry? You're a guy that knows this. Okay.
It's kind of a rhetorical question.
Yeah, right. It is, there's a lot of opportunity. It's a, 15 billion, 17 billion, $20 billion industry. And so it's growing, double digit, 20% a year or something like that. Lots of opportunities, still early stages. If you think about, life cycles or product cycles, service cycles, this is something that, again, started 15 or so years ago, depending upon where you would have the start date. And so as the industry matures, as it grows, people are interested in adding to their portfolio. And so that's really the reason.
Okay.
Profitable, obviously.
Got it. So how'd you get here? I mean, I know you're a lawyer, you practice law, and then now you give me the
my journey is a little different. So probably unlike if I'm the first one, if I'm the first not practicing lawyer that you've had on this podcast, which I think I might be, my journey is going to be a little different than anybody else's. I practiced for about 5 years.
Okay.
In a civil litigation context in a firm in Tyler, Texas. Great firm, good people. Didn't like the work I was doing. Didn't find it particularly fulfilling. In retrospect, a lot of that probably had to do with, the particular area that I was in and the way that, just the way that it worked. I might have been happier in some other places, but I was an entrepreneurship major, small business major at entrepreneurship at Baylor. And so, for several reasons, I thought this is just not for me. And so I then followed my entrepreneurial leanings, if you will.
Yeah.
Bought a business, sold it, bought another business, sold it. I did some public service work, served as mayor of our city for 6 years as well. And then as this particular service, e-discovery or document review, was just beginning, I had a best friend who was a lawyer who thinking about leaving a firm, and he had a small team of lawyers who were doing this. And long story short, we decided to go into business together. He left that firm, and while I didn't, he talked to me about joining his firm to practice. I said, "Man, I left the practice of law for a reason. Don't want to go back to that. Tell me about this little team. Tell me about this team and what they're doing." And once he told me about it, this was in 2008. I said, I think there's something there. I think there's something there. We've got a team that's doing the stuff that law firms did, but it's not in a law firm. And so it could do a lot more stuff. I think we can make something of this. What I'll do, let's be equal partners in the business, and I'll see if I can run with this and make something happen. You can keep practicing law, and that's the way it's worked out. So I was a frustrated lawyer, entrepreneur, who found a way to, fortunately, found a way to combine those two into what is a growing business and a growing industry.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I mean, why'd you even become a lawyer? What?
I'm really not sure. If I'm just honest, look, I've listened to some of your other guests, and similarly, I listened to your last guest in particular, just as I get ready to. It's good on my feet. I could talk my way out of a problem. I could. It just seemed like the thing to do. You're growing up. People say, "Oh, maybe it's the fact that you're arguing. Well, you should be a lawyer." The truth is that I went to business school, and I didn't quite find anything else I wanted to do right then, and it just seemed to make sense. And I really thought I would enjoy the practice of law, and I would enjoy trying cases. The problem was that when you get into the practice, it's nothing like, if you think you're just going to try cases all day, unless you go to work for a DA's office or something, you're just not going to get to. So what I did was a lot of discovery. It wasn't e-discovery at the time. There was no e. There was no electronic. It was just discovery.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of pushing paper. And for me, and my temperament, my ability to, focus for long periods of time, it wasn't a good fit. But I wanted to help people. I wanted to try cases, and I just didn't get to try cases. So I got to do something else.
Got it. Well, where are you from? You're obviously from Texas, but where?
So moved around a lot as a kid. Born in Lubbock, Texas. Spent my childhood years in New Orleans, New Orleans suburb, and then moved back to Texas when I was in high school and lived in Texas ever since.
Okay, we're in Tyler. Yeah. What part?
In Tyler, most of the time. I'm sitting in Dallas today. That's where our largest office is.
Okay.
And I've been doing some interviewing for some senior executive positions this week, so I just happen to be in Dallas right now.
Oh, excellent! Yeah,
actually, it's very hot.
It's very hot there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in Dallas for 6 months. I lived in Richardson.
Yep. Well, that's where our office actually is, in Richardson.
Really?
Yeah, in Coit and Campbell.
That's so
I'm sorry,
funny.
Campbell and Collins. Campbell and
Yeah,
Collins.
yeah. No, I vaguely remember that because I was doing an internship. I went to business school, and I had an internship with Texas Instruments.
I was going to guess TI. If you had me guess, I would say TI.
And and you talk about your experience of like knowing that, and I don't want that. Texas Instruments, oh my God, that definitely cured me of ever thinking about working for a large organization.
Corporate, yeah.
Oh my God.
But TI was really the reason that Richardson grew. I mean, way back, I guess in the 60s, of course, they placed that headquarters and plant way out there, and that's really what fueled the growth northward. From Dallas.
Yeah, that big campus. I mean, I'm sure they've done all kinds of amazing things to it, right? But it was quite a big campus they had.
Yes, still right there at the corner of 635 and Central Expressway.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, I'm a Yankee from Boston. I remember I literally drove from Boston to Texas. I stopped in like Texarkana. I'll never forget it. I walked into this place like I was hungry to eat. It was like a saloon. The doors open. Everybody turned around and looked at me. It's like, who the heck is
this guy from?
They had like a cowboy hats on. It was like sawdust.
Oh yeah.
It was unbelievable. And I remember calling my dad thinking, I can't.
What have I done?
Yeah.
It sounds like the movie My Cousin Vinny. One of my favorite movies.
It was kind of like that. And anyway, I got a kick. I always loved like exploring new things, but I ended up getting to Dallas, and I literally got there like on New Year's Eve, and I just met these guys, and they were cool. And we went out to some country bar. I stayed out all night long, learned how to do the two-step. Mesquite, Texas.
It was a Mesquite rodeo.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
And this guy took me to his cattle ranch in East Texas. We went out and we got a bull one afternoon. We cooked the side of beef that night. Anyway, I had a great experience in Dallas, Texas. I guess is my point. And but
probably changed quite a bit since you were here. But then there are a lot of things that are probably still the same.
It was a wild place. It was a long time ago, and it's pretty. Texas always has been sort of as Lone Star State, and they kind of marched to their own beat, and it was like that then too.
Yeah, it was there back then. Yeah, that's awesome.
So anyway, interesting. So, do you mostly support litigation teams? Is that kind of?
Yeah.
Since you were a frustrated litigator, you didn't get to litigate. Now you get to support these guys.
So our work falls about half for for corporations, mostly large, but some, medium, small, medium. And then about half for lawyers in law firms who are working usually for corporations. And then from that, yes, probably over 50% of our work is litigation, but a significant piece of our work is an investigation. So there may be a governmental investigation that happens. So the feds come knocking, corporation has to comply. Could be an antitrust area, could be, whatever. Some of it is internal investigation. So the GC or somebody in compliance within a company wants to know what's going on in the company. And so it'll be an internal investigation for them. A good bit is in the merger and acquisition M&A context where there has to be governmental approval.
Okay. Yeah.
And so those are called second requests. And so the documents that have been the internal documents leading up to the merger are important to the government. And so we'll be doing that. Some of them in a privacy context. So we're working on privacy issues, compliance of privacy laws, California CCPA, California Consumer Privacy Act, one of them more recently, and so it could be any range of things. Most probably still in litigation context, but also many others.
Okay, so when you say I was just wondering as a thought, maybe this is true. When people are going through diligence, when they're going through an M&A, do you support that activity as well? You do?
Yes. Both pre-announcement, if you will, or pre-deal, and then post deal during that due diligence context, and then also after that, when it's been submitted for approval, that's big enough, been submitted for Justice Department, SEC, whatever approval, then the SEC or the regulatory agency will want to see documents, and so we work on that as well.
See, when you say SEC, I mean, you're talking about public companies, I assume, right?
Public companies.
You do it for private as well?
Don't always have to be public. There's still inquiries about market share even when they're private. So there's still sometimes have to be governmental approval if it's if there's an acquisition and there's a question about kind of consolidation or market share.
Yeah. No, it's fine because I know, like, with these data rooms when they go, like, it's like intralinks, maybe
very similar.
Yeah, it is similar to that. Okay, got it. That's what I thought. But you, I mean, it seems like, but you want to stay in your lane, which is really law firms, legal.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're working usually again for general counsel and that department within a company, or for lawyers who are practicing at law firms serving usually corporations. Occasionally we'll work for other departments, but it's still in the legal context. I mean, we're serving legal professionals.
Got it. Well, you got a bunch of law firms who will be listening to this. So, I mean, what do you guys, how are you different than other?
How are you different? I've been waiting for this question. I'm glad you asked.
Good. Well, I figured that would help you.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I love it. I can talk about it all day. But the how are we different is in the way that we interact with our clients. Everybody says that. Look, the best thing that's happened to us is the rapid consolidation in the industry. At the beginning and the end of the day, we are humans serving humans.
Yep.
Okay. And what has happened with the advent of technology and in the rapid consolidation that's happening is that we're forgetting that we're human to human. And so it becomes very programmatic. It becomes very rote, and it's just checking the box to do a thing. I still speak with every new employee, and one of the things I tell them is, if all you're doing is the thing that we're hired to do, we have failed our client. The mission of our organization is to surprise with remarkable delight. What does that have to do with a law?
Love that.
What does that have to do with a document?
Yeah.
No. If we're just doing the thing, we're not doing the thing. We have to delight you. We've not succeeded unless we delight you. What does that mean? That means coming in on budget. That means coming in before the deadline if we can. That means in the way that we're communicating to you and reporting to you, we're providing you something that you didn't really think you could get. It's becoming easier and easier to do because the service levels in our industry are declining. Because as you and I both know, and probably every listener, anytime there's consolidation, the integration part of it, the assimilation part of it, the culture piece of it is the hardest.
Yep.
And so when you're acquiring 2 or 3 or 4, 10 companies in a year, just getting all that together, all on the same page, all with the same operating systems standards is almost impossible. It's where most mergers fail, right? It's because I'll go get this culture and this culture, it doesn't work. And then 3 or 5 years later, you'll see them divest of that acquisition. I'm going down to a bit of a rabbit hole, but we are who we've always been. We've never had outside investment money. We've never been in debt other than short-term, cash flow, payroll kinds of things. We have many of our core team have been with us for a dozen years, and we're the tortoise, if you will, in the race. The thing that's happened in the last couple of years is this tortoise is moving pretty fast.
Yeah.
Because people are finding us and they're finding what they're missing in other places.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I love what you said about the delight. Can you repeat that again? What's your motto?
Our mission is to surprise with remarkable delight.
I can write that down. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the way I came up with that. I actually was the one that wrote this, and this is something that we've only articulated within the last couple of years. And we have core values. We have our core values published, and we live by them, and we hire by them, and we promote by them, all that kind of thing. but in terms of our mission, we never had anything that was super compelling. And so I was really just doing some, it was actually one of the things I said I'm going to do and I'm going to finish. And I began to think to myself, what is it? It's like, when you talk about a mission, it has to really be at the core of who you are as a person in the organization.
Yeah.
Like, what does everybody get up in the morning to do? What really gets us going? And the way that I formulated that for myself, I suggest this to anybody who's trying to arrive at a mission. What is so amazing that when it happens, I will go interrupt a meeting that's happening in my company to go, you're never going to believe, fill in the blank. For us, it's when a client surreptitiously, on their own, sua sponte, as we say as lawyers, they say, wow, this is amazing. Wow, I never thought this could happen. So that's remarkable delight. If they've been delighted, they've remarked to you about it, and you've surprised them. And so that's really at the core of what we strive to do. And it doesn't happen a whole lot in legal.
Well, that's going to make you a lot different. It's so I'm going to send you something after we're done here to show you, because a lot of the things that you're saying it's kind of frightening how much they resonate with some of the things that involve, and what we did exactly the same thing. In fact, I'm going to you probably know about this, the Malcolm Baldrige Award.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The Ritz-Carlton is won many times.
One of the
Have you attended the seminars? Have you attended?
No, I have not attended the seminars. One of the things we talk about is with the way we describe the service level we aspire to is a Ritz-Carlton level.
They have it. I don't know if they still do it, but we attended it years ago in a totally different business. We went there for 3 days.
Yeah.
And they basically were teaching what they do. Right. And then you try to implement some of those things in your business. Now it's a hotel, so it's a little different, but there's a lot of the core principles, like they have a daily stand-up meeting every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Core of it, all the things that you're saying, it was amazing. But anyway, it's interesting. I mean, you would really appreciate that.
Good. No, I love it. Let me also suggest to you and anybody that might be listening, there's another book and concept along those lines. Danny Meyer, the Union Square Hospitality Group, founder of Shake Shack.
Yeah, of course. I just ate there.
So Danny Meyer has a book, Setting the Table.
Okay.
And he talks about many of these concepts that he has applied in the hospitality. So to go one step further, we think of ourselves in legal much like a restaurant, and that is there's front of house and there's back of house. And the hospitality has to go throughout. And so the front of house is just as you think, meeting, greeting, the hospitality, I know your name, I know when you come in, I know you like to sit, I know how you like your whatever.
Yep. Back
of house is crazy. And it's the machine that makes it happen. And there have to be standards and checklists and all of those things. If we think about our business in that way, then we're going to deliver. And so that's the way we like to think of it.
Yeah, everyone has to be aligned. You all have to be thinking about the customer, right? Not just your little function, but we're all aiming in the same direction. Yeah, it's very true. Excellent. This is good stuff. I was going to ask you about, what you would suggest to a lawyer, but I already know what you think because it's probably
yeah.
But it is. Listen, I mean, even the people that I've had on that are practicing law, they've all said similar things, that it's just a great background for anything. The way you think, problem solving, critical thinking, and all that kind of stuff. So
it's been great for me.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys are a technology company, so obviously using technology. I'm sure you're using your business too.
Oh yeah, we use several platforms. Depending upon. I mean, that's another thing is we're going to customize the solution for the client. We're not driving a proprietary. We've not built the technology. I understand there are reasons to do that.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're curating all of the tools that we have available for the client in particular to say, you don't really need to buy this. Let's do this. This is the best fit. So much like a craftsman, or an artist, even for a particular need, we're going to say these are the things in the tool belt, the tool chest that we need to pull out to best tackle your project.
Okay, good stuff. All right, well, listen, so what, as just a final note here, what do you want people to know about you, and what's the best way to get in touch with you? If they
Yeah, look, best way best way is our website, or Joey Seeber, JSEEBER at levellegal.com. That'd be fine. Look, what I would want people to know is, if you find yourself needing services like I've described, we'd love to work with you, but not if you're looking for the least expensive hourly rate, not if you're looking for really kind of a commoditized, if you're looking for service the way that you'd like to be served at a great restaurant or great hotel in the legal world, then we'd love to speak with you. Or if you need a resource, there are plenty of those too. We can help provide a resource.
Excellent. I love it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure to.
Likewise. Thank you for having me.
You bet.
I love listening to your podcast. So you got some interesting folks.
Okay, thank you. So again, we get Joey Seeber, CEO of Level Legal in Dallas, Texas. And this show is sponsored by EmotionTrac, which is a legal tech platform as well that lawyers use to get insights from our AI platform they use for mediation and trials. Anyway, thanks again, Joey.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.